Shalom. Kahala Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Waha Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing this word and truth and sincerity. This is Amathia from Great Millstone, Dallas. I wanted to go into a quick lesson and we're going to fiery trials. Going into how being under the wings of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we have to go through a build up of our faith, a spiritual muscle up. All right? When you go through anything in life, one good thing about it, when you're trying to be good at something, you go through workouts, you go through a repetition of building up your craft of what you're doing. And that's what we're doing here in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. To what? To withstand the wiles of the devil, to withstand persecution, all right? To withstand the hard times that are about to come. I tell you in Jeremiah 30:7, it's going to be Jacob's trouble. So we need that spiritual build-up to be saved out of that, okay? And that's basically constantly staying in the spirit, meditating in the scriptures, reading, all right? This is something that is coming, because the days are short, all right? As it says, now it's high time to wake up out of sleep because our salvation is nearer than we believe, and with that Romans 13. So this is something we have to constantly keep in mind, that keeping our eye on the prize, stay focused. This is 1 Peter 4:1. It says, "For as much then as Mashiach, all right, has suffered for us in the flesh," because you should think Yahweh Shai came down here in the flesh and had to go through that persecution, had to go through that horrific punishment. He did that for us to receive salvation. Right? Think about you and did something as a man or as a boy, and you finna go through a harsh punishment, and it's your fault. You did it, but your big brother comes and takes the blow for you can get through and get through it and to where you're going or where you need to be. He suffered for us. All right, let's keep going, and that's the same spirit that we should be in to have an understanding. Okay, it says, "Suffer for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind." All right, for he has suffered in the flesh, has ceased from sin. So he suffered for us. We have to keep that in mind. All right. And now we have to go through that. That's why we have to get set for the certain tribulation. What it says in James 1, it goes into like we're gonna go through those trying times, and that's what's gonna do what? Work of patience. That's gonna help build us up. And we're constantly being built up. All right. The Lord gave us this grace period between time we're in to the times now. All right. To the times that are coming very, very soon, where we have to what? Get ready to work, going through a great time where it's going to be tribulation, mourning, sorrow, pestilence. And we have to have that patience to say we're going to be waiting for Yahweh Shai. That's trusting in the Lord, as it says in Proverbs 3. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto your understanding. Because you be like, Lord, why I'm going through this? Our small, feeble minds at this time is what? Can't get some of this understanding of Yahweh Shai, but we are wise to trust in the Lord. And especially since the Lord opened our eyes up, we have way more understanding than people walking around in the world. They're going to be looking like, why is this going on? Why is the Lord doing this? They don't have no understanding. Is you Israelites, Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, you went through, you caused this, being stiff-necked, hard-hearted. So the Lord is causing this, and then, you taking a stand or holding on to, a lot of you holding on to Esau, which is adverse to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So you're basically going against your Heavenly Father, all right? All right? So we're, like you say, Yahweh Shai went through that suffering for us. Now we have to go through it, but what to say, for a moment. And we're supposed to count it all joy when we're going through it. Matter of fact, I'll get that. This is Matthew 5. Verse 12. I started verse 11. It says, "Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake." Didn't they do that for Yahweh Shai? Had people hiring up to go up there and testify against them falsely. And they wanted to let go of a criminal. Okay? They wanted to let go of Barabbas, who was going around slaying. Doing things that were, he was doing things that he was persecuted for, but it was something he did. Yahweh Shai, he did not, who the world equally calls Jesus, he did not do anything that they were saying he was doing. A man that walked perfectly upon the earth. And what did they say? Free Barabbas. And that's what's going to happen here. When times get hard, your own people start, going against you. You might have some that say, you the one that caused this. And they're going to do what? They're going to look towards what? Putting an evil eye against you now. So we got to get prepared for that. That's why we're doing what? These spiritual these spiritual muscle ups. Verse 12, "Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." See? Jeremiah, thrown in the pit, persecuted. Isaiah, they, all the prophets before us, they wasn't too, they didn't rejoice when they seen them walking by. Because what? They were calling out their transgressions, calling out what was going to go down if they don't get themselves together. They prophesied that, hey, the downfall of kingdoms, as it says in Jeremiah 28. Even when Israel got, Jerusalem was sieged, they were prophesying about it, say, hey, if you don't get yourself together and turn and get right, the Lord is going to bring forth what? Judgment. And you want to hear somebody just talking about you going to get judged? They was getting like annoyed, the people. When when Noah was out there prophesying what was going to happen for 120 years, where he said he's going to say, hey, if you don't, the flood is coming and the Lord is going to come and judge all of you. Do you think they sit there for, you like to see, you never know. I'm just throwing that. You could have people that heard this and like, oh man, they could have been listening for 5 years, 7, 8, 10 years. Like, dang, man, this is about to happen. Man, I believe them. The Lord hardened their heart, and they got to a point where they were like, man, you've been saying this for years, nothing ain't happening. I ain't seen nothing, no rain come out the sky, or no water come out the sky. What are you talking about? You've been building this boat We've been out here listening to you while you build this boat. You talking, telling us what's about to happen, the judgment that's coming. And, and like I say, wickedness at that time exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Just like today. All the lewdness, all these, you got moles running around. You have all this wickedness. And the Lord says he's going to do the same thing. Come back and bring forth judgment upon the earth. And he's going to save a remnant. So these people are going to come through and persecute you. They're going to come through and like you say, try to bring forth judgment to you on this side. All right, before the Lord comes back. Because they want what? They want to get back their lives. They want, like, man, they're struggling and it ain't got no food out here. People's getting sick, so we need something. And Esau's like, here you go. And they're going to receive what Esau is going to give them. All right? But the Lord says you're going to go through these trials. What it say, those fiery trials. All right? And what when you go into the fiery trials, when you go into fiery, is what? To be we're gonna go through that certain persecution, but the Lord is gonna mold us, and that's like it's saying being tried in the fire. All right. So we should be glad and rejoice for what's to come. Our reward is in heaven. That's why we're storing our treasures up in heaven, as it says in like Matthew 6. All right. That's where it ain't gonna get molded. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna rust. So this is spiritual cash in the bank. All right, in the spiritual bank, because this place is up to the peak, and now it's on the way down. It's been up to the peak, now it's all the way down. All right, America had his time, 30s, 40s, 50s. All right, 60s. So even and then when you start seeing now, especially coming into the 90s, hitting the 90s, going to the 2000s, all the way when they get 2010, you can see, man, you can basically see it was about through. But people gonna hold on to something that's gonna that they only knew. Just like if you were born in jail, in a prison, you were born in prison. You only see good times that you know that of what was in the prison. You don't know good times that was outside. So you say, I don't want to let this go. We had applesauce on Fridays, and we up there talking and laughing, and we enjoyed ourselves one day. That was nice. But you don't know what was out in the world outside of this prison. That's what we got to think about now. And you talking about, if you telling somebody, oh, this prison's going to be destroyed. And if you don't get right, you can get up out of here for the Lord to prepare you to get up out of here. You're going to be destroyed with it. People like, man, get out of here, man. I was born and raised in this prison. Man, stop all that jabbering and talking. What do you call it? That jibber jabber shit. Get out of here. You know? But that, like I say, they're going to look at us and they're going to they're already tired of it. We see you on the highways and byways. All right? Now, Apostles been going through this for so many years. All right? But I'm sure they're rejoicing because what? They're starting to see these times and the prophecy that they've been out here as watchmen speaking on, is things are starting to come to do what? Pass. So it's starting to come to pass. They doing just like our prophet before us in Jeremiah 28. Prophet before us. I'm gonna get that. But we're rejoicing now because what? It's getting to a point where it's gonna be the kingdom of heaven is next. Thus saith the prophecies. Thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right. This is Proverbs 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy against many countries and against kingdoms of war and evil and pestilence. So that's what we're doing. And our prophets was not loved out here in these streets. and there's nothing new under the sun. We are not loved in here in these streets because we're against this world. But be patient, all right? And we got to constantly endure. Because what? Because our salvation is nearer than we believe. So with that, call halal Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Waha Rahakwadash. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yaki and pushing this word of truth and sincerity. Shalom.